What is good, YouTube fam? It is JP Buffett here, back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about cents per point, the metric most in the points and miles community uses to calculate value. I'll be discussing what it is, why it is used, and how I think it can be factored in to calculating the value of your points. If you're interested in that video, stay tuned. Like always, fam, if you like this video, show the like button some love. Don't hit it, just click it. If you're new here and want more from me, click that subscribe button too. With that out of the way, let's get back into the video. Cents per point, or CPP, is a way to calculate the value a person gets per point when they use it for a particular purchase. Before I get into this, I want to apologize and say we're going to be using a little bit of math. You have been warned. Wait. So, for example, let's say you're looking at a flight that costs $1,000. Now you can pay for the price of the flight and take it, or you can use points. Let's say for the same flight, it costs about 50,000 points. You will then be able to calculate the exact cents per point on your flight by taking the $1,000 that costs for the flight, multiplying it by 100 to get to the cents from dollars. Then divide this by the number of points used. So for this example, you will get a valuation of 2 cents per point. Now, with all the math out of the way, how might we determine if this is a good value? Well, there are many sites like the Points Guide, which is probably the most famous, that can give you this value calculation. It seems like the way to calculate value is basically looking at the expected value of the given the points currency. So let's say they can have an expected value of 1.5 cents per point, meaning that in this case, your 2 cents per point is a good value and you should use your points. On the other hand, though, let's say it is 2.5 cents per point for the expected value. This would mean that this is a bad redemption and you should use cash instead. Cents per point can be used for any currency, and it basically allows you to compare it to the actual dollar cost. So the question I've been actually asking for myself is cents per point the best way to calculate value? And the answer to this is yes, but also no. Now, I know this answer is not satisfying to most people.
Nope. Stop talking, go to jail.
Oh. So let me explain. Cents per point is the best metric we have. We're trying to get a baseline of how good a redemption can be. However, when using this metric alone, other more subjective ways of calculating value go by the wayside. I think that one way this is misused is when calculating, the value of hotel points. With the exception of Hyatt, most hotel points or most hotel currencies have an expected value of 0.5 to 0.7 cents per point. This alone would make it a terrible redemption if you're using the cents per point metric alone. This, however, does not take into account one glaring issue. Cents per point for airlines is one person exclusively. Like I said in the earlier example, that 2 cents per point will only matter for one individual flying. So let's say 2 people are flying, well, you're up to 100,000 points. However, when we're talking about hotels, the number of people you can have in a room could increase, yet the number of points you have to use for that room does not. This might change the value of that hotel stay because you can now offer more people. However, this is not, apparent when you're looking at cents per point calculation by itself. So it could just be me, but I really feel like the points community don't really talk about this aspect of it. But if it is, I haven't seen it. Well, I've seen it rarely, I should say. This doesn't include also other perks that might come from a hotel stay. So yes, while cents per point is a great metric, it alone cannot help us calculate our personal value. Let me come in here to say, if you like the video, show the like button some love. Don't hit it, just click it. It helps the channel out tremendously and is much appreciated. With that out of the way, let's get back into the video. So with all that being said, what should your approach be when trying to determine when and how you should use your points? Remember, these value judgments are subjective, so please do not stress yourself out when you're trying to decide when and how you should use them. The first thing we need to do is to calculate the cents per point. Yes, I know what I said, but while cents per point isn't the end all be all, it is a great baseline to see what you're working with. So basically, you can take it as like a crude measure, as a great place to start your baseline, pretty much. However, like I said, we cannot stop there. Next, we have to ask, what is the opportunity cost of using our points, or of this metric? When you got to think about this, what is the cost of doing this instead of doing something else? When it comes to transferring points, it might make more sense to transfer to Hyatt in one situation versus Marriott in another. But we have to take into account that Hyatt isn't as large as Marriott, and on top of that, or at least from what I've encountered, these points might not always be used at certain locations. Either way, take into account when we can use points might add or subtract to their value. This part is a bit more difficult to quantify, but should still be thought about, especially when you think about using co-branded cards or things like that when you're trying to get a specific cents per point valuation. Lastly, do you want to spend money or do you want to spend points? I think this one is big. It goes along with your miles may vary idea, but I don't think it's stressed enough personally. If you want to save money or you just don't want to use your cash and you have points, don't feel pressure to use cash because the cents per point does not reach a certain number. Yes, we can always find a way to mathematically optimize our value, but we must also take into account the personal value we get. Taking this trip with us, 0.4 cents per point might not be the best redemption, but your family might love it and you can get a chance to make memories. So take it as you will. But yeah, cents per point is a great baseline to start with, but really try to take into account the personal value that might be gained. Also take into account if the points are being used across multiple people and how this experience might impact your quality of life. You can think about the hotel versus airline example. I think it is okay to have bad redemptions if it means getting great experiences. So you gotta take that into account. Optimizing everything when it comes to travel can be demoralizing and make travel seem a bit more stale. At least that's what I've seen, in my short time in this arena. So yeah, that will be it for me here, guys. What do you think of my take? Do you agree or disagree with me? Either way, I would love to hear what you guys say in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, show the like button some love. Don't hit it, just click it. If you're new here and want more from me, click that subscribe button too. If you found this helpful in any way, consider sharing it with a friend. And of course, guys, until next time, peace.